Well, time to introduce your broadcast partner.
Quinn Grovey, everybody. Yeah. Greatest quarterback. Let me make sure I read this right. No, Quinn is I want to say this, and I've said this before. I've told Quinn this. I'm not saying anything that I've not told Quinn. Years ago, when it came time to interview, Joe Ferguson was the sideline reporter, and he joined Danny Ford's staff. And there were a lot of former Razorbacks that came in and interviewed for this job. I was young. I was in the room. I had no part of the interview process, but I was in the room. But what made an impression on me, and it's what got Quinn the job, was he's the only one that came in and didn't act like he was entitled to it. And he was probably the most entitled of all the people that came in the room. But he didn't act that way. It was that part of that Walmart training, I know. But seriously. But Quinn, how are you?
Man, I'm doing good. Thanks for the nice introduction.
Well, man. It was a late request last night. It was well after 7 when I requested. I had to promise, man, I'll butter you up. I'll make you sound really good. I know it's last minute, but you got to come on.
Razorback great, co-host of the Razorback Daily, heard daily wherever you get podcasts, and Chuck's broadcast partner on the football games, Quinn Grovey. Hall of Famer.
Quinn Grovey, everybody.
Hey, Quinn. Good morning.
What's up, fellas? How are y'all, man?
How's it been for you? Anything going on? Paying any attention to football lately?
Yeah. Not much going on around here. I mean, down here on campus, it's been a little quiet. I mean, but no, actually, there's been a lot going on, and, we're all just trying to work through it. I mean, just like everybody else. And on this campus, you're just trying to figure it out. And, you never want to go through a coaching change like that in the middle of the season, but it's one of those things where Hunter felt like he had to make that decision, and it was probably the right decision considering the way things were going. And some people would say maybe you should have waited. Some people would say maybe you should have done it a little earlier. Some people will say you should have waited to the end of the season. But he made that decision, and it's never good for anybody. So everybody's really trying to adjust right now. And so you're dealing with a lot of emotions, with the coaching staff, with the players. And it's just one of those things that's just not really good. But if you have to do it, it's good to have a guy on your staff like a Bobby Petrino who can take the reins and really implement his process right off the bat with no hesitation. I mean, let's just jump right in. I already know what I want to do. I already know who I want on my staff, and I know what the recruiting plan is going to be, all that kind of stuff. He is just quickly picking up the ball and running with it and really trying to show Hunter, how his program would work. But you also got to deal with the players. Yeah. And I know that there was some pushback from the players, which is, I understand that as well. And, it's like, the best way I can describe it is if you got a family member that you felt was done wrong, you're immediately going to take sides. And so it's going to take a little bit of massaging to really kind of get that group to come back over from a defensive perspective. So, there's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of layers to the onion that, that I think is a lot deeper than what most people really understand, and really trying to get, 17 to, 21-year-olds to really come out of a shell and play, because it's easy to say, pull up your bootstraps and go to work. You're getting paid a lot of money and all that. But when you're dealing with feelings, you also have to come with a different approach. So, it's one of those things where we'll have to see how it all plays out. But there's a lot of things that you've got to do when you're dealing with 17 to 21-year-olds in this situation.
Yeah, Quinn, I'm interested in your perspective on the players' part of this and what they need to hear or what you want to hear as a player. I think Petrino's done a remarkable job of being very direct, telling them what's in it for them, speaking that way in the media, giving everybody a plan, saying this is the direction we're going to go, this is what we've got to do. And I heard you on all the emotions of it all, too, and I think he addressed that. But take us inside that meeting room and that locker room, and if you're a player, what does Petrino need to deliver that gives him the best shot to get them to play for themselves and each other?
Well, I think what you're talking about, what he did was really the right thing. You may not like what took place. You may not like the situation, but this is the situation we're in. And, the big message is that you never know in life who's going to be your boss. You never know who's going to show up and be leading the program or leading your organization. And so you've got to really understand that change is a part of it. All right, we're in this situation. We're playing at one of the best universities in the SEC, and now you've got an opportunity to play 7 more games. I mean, some of you guys will never play football ever again. Some of you guys will move forward, but how you play in these next 7 games will dictate what your future is. So I think he did the right thing in regards to finding out the what's in it for me aspect of it. You don't necessarily have to play for me, but you need to play for something, and you need to figure that out. Is it for me? Is it for my grandma? Is it for me to try to get to the pros? Is it for me to try to get more money? Whatever it is it for the university? Whatever it is, you got to figure out what's important for you. The one thing you want to be able to do, though, and I think that this is a player-led team, they'll continue to play for one another. I think they'll galvanize. I think they'll do what they need to do to come together and play for one another. And so when you're doing that, and that's a big thing, and this is a player-led team, and those guys have really talked about that all week long in regards to, look, we've got different coaches and we've got different things going on right now, but we still have the same nucleus here, and I think they'll show up on Saturday.
We played a soundbite a little bit earlier from Coach Petrino talking about the defense. I know you're an offensive guy too, and we all tend to focus on the offense, but, I mean, you know, let's face it, there's got to be defensive improvement. How much an effect do you think an offensive mind, but a former head coach, can have on a struggling defense?
You know, I was driving in and I heard you talk about Coach Horton, and me and Tim Horton had that same conversation that you had. When you've got a guy that really understands just about every position out there, and he told me that Coach Tim Horton said he can coach every position on the field. And I thought that was really, really unique. I was like, "Are you serious? Are you kidding me?" And he was like, "No, really, he can coach every single position and be one of the best at doing it." So I think you've got a secret weapon right there that can really kind of spend a little bit more time on that defensive side and really implement what he wants to see. Now, I know in the past they talked about his defenses hadn't always been the most aggressive or most productive or whatever. He's always been an offensive guy, but he understands alignment and assignment, and I think that that's really what this team needs, is just really, become a little bit more structured, understand what you want to do, where you want to be aligned, and all those types of things. You know, there was a lot of times that this defense was in the right position. I mean, you just missed tackles. And so it's really going to be about shedding those blocks. I like when he talked about that. I like when he talked about tackling in space. So I think there's just little things. If they can just tackle, if the defense can just tackle just a little bit better, you're going to be in a much better position. But at the end of the day, I just think that he's going to have you in the right position. Bobby Petrino will put that defense in the right position. It's still going to be up to the players to make those plays.
Last couple of games, it seems to me like we may have seen the offense affected by what was happening on the other side of the ball to an extent. Yeah. There have been some areas offensively the last couple of games that they've got to clean up. What do you see on that side of the ball?
I totally agree with you, man. I think that when you have an offense that is required to score on every possession, you feel the pressure. And, I can go back to my senior season. Our defense, we struggled on defense, and we felt like we had to score every single time on offense if we were going to stay in a football game. And that's a lot of pressure. And so you come out in the first couple of games, things are freewheeling and things are high-flying and things are really good. But at some point in time, when that opposing offense continues to go up and down the field, you're like, golly, man, can we get a stop? Just give me a stop. Just give me some relief. But there's so much pressure there that I think that I don't want to say imploded, but it just starts to eat at you at some point in time. And so they just got to get back to having fun, man. I think they were having a whole lot of fun right off the bat in those first couple of games. Taylor was freewheeling. The wide receivers were running those crossing routes all across the place, and Taylor was making great decisions. They just got to get back to just really having that fun. I think that offensive line has been a catalyst, and so when you get in trouble and you feel like your offense is not really activated the way you want, you get back to that run game. I think Mike Washington has got to get more carries. I think Braylon Russell's got to get more carries, and you got to find a way to do that. You're always going to insert Taylor Green into that, but it's just really about getting back to the basics on offense and just slowing down. But if that defense can just give them some type of relief and give them a stop or two, I just think that they're going to feel a little bit better about what's taking place. You've got to find a way to get separation from an offensive perspective, and I just think that that's what they got to get back to.
Quinn Grovey with us here on the Chuck and Bo Show. All right, what do you expect to see this week?
I don't know. I mean, that's a great question. That's $1 million question. I think everybody's really trying to figure that out. And I do believe that they're going to play extremely hard. I think they'll be ready to go. Here's the deal. We're going to jump on that plane on Friday. We're going to go to Knoxville. And at Saturday at 3:15 Central, that game is going to kick off. And your mindset better be right, because Tennessee don't care about what your mindset is. They don't care what's going on. They don't care about the coaching change. They're hoping you're down. Because if you go out there with the wrong mindset, they'll put 50, 60, or 70 on you. And so, but if you go in with the right mindset, then you'll have an opportunity to compete and get to the fourth quarter, like Coach Petrino said. I mean, this offense that Tennessee brings to the table is really, really dynamic. I mean, they're going to stretch the field. They're going to hit you with a bunch of wide splits from their wide receivers. I mean, you're going to see wide receivers close to the sideline. They're going to have stacked formations. They're going to be looking for free releases. They're going to find a way to create as much space as possible where you have to make tackles in space. And so this defense is going to have to find a way to make tackles in space. And, defensively, they're going to come after you. Their defensive front is very aggressive. They don't blitz a whole lot. They'll blitz about 30% of the time. They'll play base coverage on the backside, really not trying to give up a lot of big plays. But that offensive line has got to be critical. But these are two offenses that are explosive and two defenses that have given up the goose. I mean, they've given up a lot on both sides. And so this is going to be about chunk plays for me. Arkansas is a team that's given up, or it has 37 chunk plays so far on the season. Tennessee's given up 24, which is 15th in the SEC. The problem on that is the flip side is Arkansas is dead last in allowing chunk plays at 29, and Tennessee has 31. So it's going to be really about winning on first down, not giving up chunk plays, and finding a way for defense to steal a possession or two.
Quinn, thanks, man. Great to catch up with you, as always. Great to hear you on the Razorback Daily, Monday through Friday with Matt Zimmerman, and we'll be listening to you on Saturday with Chuck. Thank you again, man.
All right, fellas, take care.
I appreciate it. Quinn Grovey just laying it out there.
Yeah, I mean,
great job.
Hey, he can break it down.
It was a good look.
There's no doubt.